Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody here today. Oh, look at that. There we go. So I hope everybody is doing well. I sure hope you are. We are having a wonderful day where I am. I think we're 72 degrees. It almost feels very spring like today, and I'm loving it. I love the spring. So, and I love the fact that we are close to our new year. We're we're very close to New Year's, and before you know it, our Passover will be here. I love this time of the year, and I know many of you do too. And especially when we get into the kingdom, I will definitely be looking forward to Passover. And wow, I just can't even imagine how grand that will be. But I'm sure looking forward to it. That's for sure. So, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and him telling lies about Social Security. And he got called out on it too. And in fact, Social Security, the people there were calling him out. He tried to say there's people 120 years old and 130 years old still getting Social Security. That doesn't even sound right. And I knew it, just listening to that, I knew it was not true. And he got called out for it. They said there is no evidence that somebody 120 and 130 years old is collecting Social Security. But according to Elon Musk, it's all this fraud going on. And see, this is where I have a problem with Elon and Donald Trump. Don't keep saying there's fraud and there's no arrest. Don't keep saying that there is fraud and you are not trying to do anything about shutting down the fraud. You just keep saying it, and that's supposed to be acceptable to everybody. Where's the proof? How come y'all haven't showed the public all of this fraud? Personally, I think what they're doing is they are labeling things fraud that's not fraud, just to justify funneling money to a bunch of rich people. That is what I really truly believe is going on. I think what they are calling fraud and their ability to shut down an agency and keep telling everybody it's fraud, but what they're really doing is shutting agencies down, firing people, and then funneling the money to a bunch of billionaires. So until I see arrest made for the fraud, if fraud is going on, then somebody's got to be committing that fraud. Until we see arrest and see proof shown to the public of all this fraud, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time believing them. So Elon is on this campaign of saying since there is fraud, then we should do away with Social Security and Medicare. And he's also calling these programs entitlement. And it's not an entitlement. We all paid into it. When I was working, it sure was deducted out of my pay, just like many of you that have been out here in the workforce. So if you're going to do away with it, I want a damn refund. From the time I entered the workforce until the time I left the workforce, I want a refund. Since this is there's fraud, so a whole agency got to go. Why not fix the fraud problem? So no, I don't see this as an entitlement since I had to pay into it. And historically, this is what these folks do. If there's any fraud going on, Elon is the one committing it. He's the one committing the fraud by screaming, and I don't care what anybody say, don't keep telling me there's fraud and then you show no proof of that fraud. All right, there's a lot of fraud that goes on in banking. So does that mean all of the banks need to be closed down? What kind of damn logic is that? For real. I mean, what kind of logic is that? Oh, well, there's fraud. So let's shut the whole thing down, take the whole thing away. Well, then you wouldn't have nothing out here. Well, what would be left if you just declared? I'm sure even in retail, there's a lot of fraud going on. There's fraud going on in banking. There's probably fraud going on even in entertainment. So what do you do? If we go by Elon's Musk, you would have to shut everything down. So no, I don't agree with him. And I think he's going to have a hard time on this one because we all have paid into Medicare. We see that deducted on your paycheck stubs. We've all paid into Social Security. Y'all see that on your paycheck stubs too. So, no, he's going to have a real hard time with this one. It won't be as easy as he think. But his theory is shut it all down. Okay, so in the meantime, what do you do with all of these elderly people that is supposed to get their money every month? Let them shrivel up and die? Because that's what I'm hearing in what he's saying. So if you're going to take Social Security away from our elders and Medicare away, because that's their health care, then what do they do? Go in a corner and die? This is why rich people are not fit to do certain types of jobs. No, I don't feel better that cuz who was it? Laura Trump, I think she was on Fox talking about some we should be kissing the ground Elon walks on. Well, I tell you what, Laura, you plant your face down on Elon's shoes because that's going to be the only face on his shoe. Yours. Because ain't nobody face planting Elon Musk shoes. So you can quit saying that while you're ahead. She's sitting up there talking about we should be kissing the ground. Elon, walk on. Then you plant your face on the ground and kiss it because nobody else is going to do that. So let's get into this story. So this is his theory. It's fraud going on. So get rid of the whole thing. Well, there's fraud going on with you too, Elon, but we can't seem to get rid of you. You're like that bad house guest that won't leave. Okay. So Musk has been scrutinizing Social Security, and I did hear what he said, and he calls it entitlement spending, which I don't call anything that we pay into an entitlement. That's how I see it. So he recently did an interview with Larry Kudlow and claimed fraud in Social Security and other major programs. Uh, and he said it should be eliminated. So, the richest man in the world who's gotten all his wealth through government contracts want to tell everybody and scrutinize this kind of, if anything, he should be scrutinized. So, he's been scrutinizing Social Security and other entitlement spending, describing the expenditures as rife and with fraudulent transactions and repeating a conspiracy theory that Democrats were using programs as a gigantic magnet to attract illegal immigrants and have them stay in the country. Well, the Democrats have done many things that people are not happy with, But one thing I can say, Elon, I'm willing to bet with SpaceX, you probably waste more money with SpaceX than they do in all of Social Security. That's just my guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, Musk and his team now number over 100 staff members and repeat similar unsupported claims about entitlement spending that dovetail with the great replacement conspiracy theory, the idea that white Americans are deliberately being pushed out by non citizens, which Musk has nodded to on other occasions. So, our elders got to lose their Social Security and Medicare because Elon believes in conspiracy theories. I don't think that's a very good reason at all. So, the waste and the fraud in entitlement spending, which is most of the federal spending, is entitlements, he claimed. So, that's the big one to eliminate. Well, if the spending and everything is entitlement, shouldn't we cut Elon's contract to eliminate fraud? I can use that same logic on him. Earlier this month, Musk referred to Social Security as the biggest Ponzi scheme. So, what he's trying to do is use propaganda to put in everybody's head Social Security bad, bad. So, by the time he attempts to eliminate it, everybody will feel negative about it. But I don't think this is going to work. All right. Because you have too many elderly people out here, that is their source of income. Without Social Security, they would literally have nothing. You know, some people have pensions and some don't. Some people don't have pensions. All right. You may have a lot of situations and reasons why a person might not have that. But that's a reality out here. Whether you agree with it or not, or can imagine it or not, it's the reality for many people. They have that Social Security. They count on it to pay their bills and buy their food. And Elon is trying to make you feel bad about having that so he can justify taking it away. A South African apartheid baby is telling us something we paid into since you've been out here working is a bad thing. And he has dispatched members of his cost cutting team, known as Doge, to access databases housed at the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, a federal agency that manages health care coverage for more than 100 million people, to flag suspicious payments. So he's going to go in there and destroy this. So my family, if y'all got elders in your family, you may have to help take care of them because Elon feels like once they get old, they shouldn't get nothing. So they worked their whole life, 30, 40, 50 years, and now they're on Social Security, and Elon is saying, well, they shouldn't have anything. So they should just curl up in a corner and not have nothing. So Musk has frequently seized on limited discoveries over course of his audits of federal agencies, publicizing minor accounting hiccups as evidence of systemic fraud. That's why I'm saying I don't believe Elon even knows how to even properly read the data. You know, wow. He and Trump has already done so with Social Security, trumpeting, finding that tens of millions of people born over a century ago remain on Social Security. Well, according to the Social Security Administration, no such thing is happening. This is just a talking point that Elon has made up, but they said there is no people over 100 years old and they are dead and getting Social Security. So, anyway, but while both men have pointed to as evidence as widespread fraud, the issue is well known. And also, none of the people listed are recorded as receiving payments from the agency. So they're attempting to show you these people, but Social Security said all of the ones Elon named, they aren't even collecting Social Security. So, how is that fraud? It's not. Okay. During an interview, Musk repeated claims that he made in recent weeks that his team's goal was to defeat what he described as a rule by the Bureau, in which he said civil servants have worked to thwart presidential policy. He said that the team had scrutinized pretty much every federal agency in what he refers to as tech support for the departments being cut. But y'all just check out those departments being cut. All of them are the ones that were investigating Elon Musk. So even as lawsuits have moved forward in federal court challenging the constitutionality of Mr. Musk's cost cutting initiative, he said his team may well remain in place for another year. So, another year of a bunch of people losing their jobs. I mean, frankly, I can't believe I'm here doing this. It's kind of bizarre, he said. Really, I just don't want America to go bankrupt, he added. Now, he wants people to go bankrupt, though. So I think this whole thing is ridiculous, in my opinion. But nobody will tank this society faster than Elon Musk. And nobody will tank it faster than him. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, Elon, why don't you teach your kid to stop picking his boogers and go get a tissue? I guess rich people don't teach their children to go use a tissue, not your finger. Simple things like that. That's what you should be teaching your kid. Mhm. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so if you get rid of these programs, where is that money going to go? Y'all need to cut my check and make sure I get that money because I paid into it from the time I started my first job. I got it 16. I had a part-time job back then working for Bambergers. Okay, which doesn't exist anymore. So from that point all the way up to where I am now, y'all owe me all that money back since it's fraud and nobody needs it. Give everybody their money. Give these elders their money because many of them have been working for decades. So you want to, Elon is satisfied with leaving these folks with nothing. So they are in fear that if Elon has access to Social Security and Medicare data that they don't be shocked if you hear about missed checks. People that are getting Social Security, you may not get it like you're supposed to every single month. You may be missing months after Elon gets finished touching the data and be all in there looking at stuff which he really is not authorized to do. But obviously, at this point, I think it's safe to say nobody in Washington, D.C. got the balls to shut this man down. Everybody is scared. The Democrats are scared. The Republicans are scared. Donald Trump won't stop him. So, he shouldn't be doing none of this stuff as a non elected official, but they're going to allow him to do it anyway. So, nobody in Washington got any balls. Everybody's a bunch of scared folks up there. Everybody's scared. Oh, and I did hear Trump and Elon next may be coming after people talking negatively about them on social media. Well, who the hell cares about that? You can't control what people say, all right, whether it's online or offline. Give me a break. Mm-hmm. Please. So what y'all gonna do? Waste your time reading what people write and what they say about you on social media? Are y'all for real? Y'all awfully fragile for a bunch of rich people, aren't you? Mm. Wow. All right, so let me look over here. T Key, thank you for the super sticker. And Chocolate Night 2, thank you for the super chat. Those people will crash out if he proceeds. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people angry. All right, so it's bad enough you have taken the livelihood of thousands of federal workers that now have to go out here in a very tough job market and get another job. Now you want to take the elderly, the people that are collecting Social Security, and leave them with nothing? I mean, is this dude for real? Wow. Mhm. So I guess it's going to be a lot of Americans around the country taking their elders in. You're going to have to take them in. They're not going to be able to make it on their own if they don't have any source of income. We're going to be back to having a few generations under your roof. In many cases, you may have your children, you as the parents and the grandparents now going to have to come in because how are they going to take care of themselves if he's cutting their health insurance and Social Security? How are they supposed to make it out here? Mm. Boy, you can't make this stuff up. Stay prayed up, everybody. Stay prayed up. The Prince of Paraphernalia, aka the Pop. Uh, Auntie Lisa, thank you for all you do for our community. I love you for life. I love you too, and thank you for your support for my channel. Devil is always busy. Always busy. Well, y'all heard they took down X. The hackers are going after X. He was down for several hours yesterday. And I said, yeah, that was a test run. Wait until they take you down and you're down for a few days or even a week. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. For real. Hmm. Shoot, if you go over there on X, there's a lot of people threatening Elon these days. For real. So, y'all, I am going to conclude on this live stream, and we'll definitely come back again on a different topic. And please enjoy the rest of your day, family. And be on the lookout for my upcoming videos. They should be coming out later on today. Shalom, family.